Inside a pharmaceutical CDMO, the environment is intensely physical. Lines run continuously, moving millions of topical creams, gels, and ointments in a make-to-ship operation. Commercial teams aggressively push this system, securing rapid new launches, urgent production changes, and higher volume growth to meet customer demand. But the facility hits hard physical limits. The floor is constrained by a finite number of packaging lines, strict cleaning validation requirements, and a persistent shortage of skilled QA labor. The standard industry assumption is that securing high revenue orders is always a net positive. Bring in the sales, and the profit will follow. This chart reveals the operational contradiction at the core of pharma manufacturing. Chasing raw revenue in a rigidly constrained system forces the operation into immediate distress. Uncontrolled volume pushes equipment and labor past breaking points. Maintenance gets deferred, and labor costs spike. Top-line revenue numbers mask the reality. Available capacity, the physical hours a plant can successfully operate, dictates the true economics of the business. Bottleneck theory states that throughput is governed entirely by the most constrained resource. The plant only moves as fast as its slowest step. Building true enterprise value requires mapping those physical bottlenecks into a unified data architecture, translating constraints from SAP operational data into Python optimization models. Mastering this capacity architecture protects enterprise EBITDA from destructive scheduling choices and provides the mathematical proof required to justify future capital expenditures. This schematic outlines the primary choke point in semi-solid manufacturing. Packaging lines typically form the main bottleneck, and the geometry of the packaging directly impacts throughput. A standard tube is relatively straightforward, but introducing a complex pump dispenser or a wide jar alters the physical reality on the floor, requiring entirely different runtime speeds, specialized labor staffing, and extensive QA review. Upstream, at the filling lines, chemical properties assert their own rigid rules. The viscosity of the product strictly governs the maximum speed at which the machinery can operate without failure. Look at the filling outputs on this chart. A standard low-viscosity OTC lotion can run at 12,000 units an hour. A thick prescription ointment immediately drops the line speed down to 7,500 units. That speed limit silently erases available capacity. Slower runs mean fewer total units produced in a shift, which directly lowers the plant's ability to absorb fixed overhead costs. Operations teams must quantify these physical constraints before accepting orders, because chemical viscosity and packaging format set an absolute ceiling on the facility's throughput. Consider a specific scenario where a commercial team has two distinct orders ready to sign, but the plant only has the hours to accept one of them on the main packaging line. This table breaks down the two options. The first is a high-volume OTC lotion order. It promises a massive $60,000 in total contribution margin, but it requires 20 total packaging hours to complete. The alternative is a prescription cream order. The total contribution margin is notably lower at $45,000, and it only requires 10 packaging hours. Evaluated purely on gross margin and top-line impact, the OTC lotion appears to be the clear winner. By dividing the total margin by the required packaging hours, we isolate the true hourly efficiency. The OTC lotion yields $3,000 of margin for every hour it occupies the bottleneck. Applying that same calculation to the prescription cream reveals a yield of $4,500 per bottleneck hour. A slight shift to emphasis. The product with the lower total margin is actually 50% more efficient at generating profit for the facility. Optimizing for gross margin alone leads commercial teams to fill the schedule with inefficient products. Profitable CDMOs evaluate every order based strictly on its contribution margin per bottleneck hour. Theoretical runtimes rely on the machines actually running. They fail to account for operational volatility, the non-productive time that acts as the dark matter of the manufacturing floor. This timeline maps the anatomy of a product changeover. Switching from an OTC product to a prescription product triggers a massive block of downtime. The line sits idle during 8 hours of intensive cleaning validation, 4 hours of mechanical setup, and 5 hours waiting for QA review and line clearance. These rigid constraints consume 17 usable hours. Applying a standard $50 per hour absorption rate to that non-productive block reveals a hidden $850 loss of absorption for a single changeover. When commercial teams rapidly switch customer orders to maintain responsiveness, they trigger these non-productive cycles repeatedly, silently bleeding enterprise EBITDA in the process. To control these variables across multiple lines and thousands of SKUs, the analysis must move off the physical floor and into a structured enterprise data stack. This architecture begins by pulling the ground truth from the ERP system. We extract routing constraints, baseline equipment efficiency, and available shift patterns directly from SAP. Simultaneously, the CRM system supplies the future demand. We pull forecast volumes and precise launch timing from the Salesforce pipeline. Both operational reality and commercial demand flow into a centralized Power BI data model, joining capacity limits with projected volume. The system runs a core DAX formula across all lines, dividing the planned production hours by the total available equipment hours to calculate the active capacity utilization percentage. In production planning, a strict threshold exists. Pushing a manufacturing line past 90% utilization introduces severe operational risk. When a line breaches that 90% limit, the DAX logic triggers a high-risk warning. At this level, schedule flexibility vanishes entirely, and minor delays cause massive spikes in mandatory overtime. Tracking utilization computationally proves that capacity risk is nonlinear. The damage does not scale evenly. Pushing past 90% triggers exponential operational disruption. Standard spreadsheet formulas break down when tasked with balancing dozens of product viscosities, packaging formats, and labor limitations simultaneously. Python acts as the optimization engine. By utilizing linear programming libraries like Pulp, we can mathematically calculate the exact product mix required to maximize profit margins. The objective function in the code actively targets those highly efficient hourly rates, instructing the solver to maximize the output of the $4,500 per hour cream. But the code binds that ambition to reality. The constraint equation guarantees the solver never attempts to schedule more hours than the physical 160 line hours available in the shift. We then run Monte Carlo simulations against the optimal schedule, testing it against randomized operational volatility like sudden QA labor shortages or delayed customer launches to gauge the probability of bottlenecks. Python replaces static, reactive schedules with dynamic, EBITDA maximizing mathematical proofs that respect the physical limits of the plant. This continuous calculation extends out to evaluate long-term strategy, predicting the precise moment the facility will require capital expansion to survive. This forecast tracks capacity utilization through 2030 based on current commercial pipelines. It begins in a manageable state at 86%. By 2028, projected volume pushes utilization to 111%. The plant will mathematically fail to deliver the pipeline. Identifying a future bottleneck with hard data provides the exact trigger required for leadership to approve capital expenditures today. Preventing the 2028 failure requires a $4.6 million investment, covering packaging, installation, validation, and training. Clearing the bottleneck yields a $2.1 million annual EBITDA increase. Dividing total cost by this increase yields a 2.2-year payback. Data-driven capacity forecasting minimizes financial risk by ensuring millions of dollars in capital are deployed exactly when the mathematical bottleneck demands it. Capacity planning sits at the core of enterprise economics. It is the definitive engine for prioritizing customers and managing strategic growth. Every line of code and financial model relies entirely on the physical limitations of these stainless steel vessels and packaging lines. Deeply understanding how these constrained resources behave is the mandatory first step before attempting to build integrated enterprise forecasting platforms or AI scheduling.